What is up, guys? In today's video, I'm going to be going over where the important NPCs are in Fortnite Chapter 5 Season 2. As always, if you guys do find this video helpful, informative, interesting, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you'd like to see more, and comment down below which NPC is your favorite to either buy something from or hire, because we are going to be talking about the specialist NPCs. And one thing to keep in mind is that if you're watching this video like later on in the season, Fortnite does tend to kind of move the NPC locations from update to update, so some of this information might be outdated by the time you see it if the video is older. There'll be a link in the description down below to Fortnite.gg, which is a website which shows the spawns for things like this and chests and all that stuff, and it gets updated over time. The specialist NPCs are NPCs that can be hired, and they have an ability that they do on cooldown. So they do their effect, and then there will be a period of time in between them being able to do it again, and you don't trigger this or like tell them to do it. They just kind of do it, which can be somewhat frustrating at times. The first ones we're going to talk about are going to be the scout specialist NPCs, because I think these are far and away the best specialist NPCs, and they do actually work now. So towards the end of last season, Fortnite made it to where these NPCs stopped scanning because of a bug, but they will scan now, and what they do is they scan the area periodically and they mark any enemy players and loot in the area. This could be huge for kind of dealing with players that are hiding in bushes, or, you know, hiding behind something waiting for you, or just keeping track of an opponent like during a fight. If they shockwave away, much easier to kind of keep track of them if they're like glowing red or have like a diamond above their head, you know? So these are basically just wall hacks that follow you around and periodically work. They do mark loot in the area as well. There's currently 2 scout specialist NPCs on the map right now. They're actually in basically the same area. There's the Artemis NPC, who is at the front of Lavish Lair, and she also sells a Huntress DMR. And then there's the Mina NPC in the forest in between Rebel's Roost and Lavish Lair, and she also sells a Reaper sniper rifle, in addition to being hired as a scout specialist NPC. I think both of these are very good, and I think these are the most effective NPCs or the most overpowered NPCs, depending on how you look at it. The healer NPCs are pretty straightforward and simple. They splash you with chug splash periodically. They'll just kind of throw 2 on cooldown. And the healer NPCs this season are the Laguna NPC at this lodge in between Grand Glacier and Classy Courts. And then the Aphrodite NPC at the kind of the bottom center of the map under fencing fields. I think the healer NPCs are solid to have, but it's kind of inconvenient sometimes because they'll like heal you when you don't need it, or when you do need it, they don't heal. It's weird to get these to work sometimes, and I feel like their effect is definitely really nice when it comes in handy. But the scout specialist NPC, I think, is just universally the best, because knowing where enemy players are can be really helpful. And even if it just like scans and doesn't mark anything, then you know you're kind of safe in your immediate vicinity. So I think the healers are good, but I don't think they're that great. The supply specialist NPCs were my favorite in Chapter 4. These are NPCs that drop you equipment, and in the past, they would kind of give you what you held out. So if you held out shockwaves or porta bunkers and you had room in your stack for more, that's what they would drop. But at the start of Chapter 5, they made it to where these NPCs would just drop you random stuff. They still can give you shockwaves, but sometimes they'll give you chug splash, or they'll just give you ammo for a random gun. For some reason, they've been dropping building materials in zero build this season, and last season they would drop EMPs as well, but I didn't have mine drop EMPs yet this season, so that may or may not still be happening. You never know with Fortnite if something changed or you just happen to not get it in that time, you know? But I think these are good. When they do drop shockwaves, they drop you 3 at a time, so it can be a lifesaver, you know? Getting 3 shockwaves is great. If you already have 1 or 2, now you have basically a full stack. So it's really nice for that effect. But the fact that it's not as consistent as it was in Chapter 4 makes me less inclined to want to hire these, because if you held out shockwaves and they gave you shockwaves every time, then you could play kind of knowing you had unlimited mobility and it was pretty overpowered. The supply specialists this season are the Bravo leader at Snooty Steps, who also sells a purple Warforged AR, and then the Spartan Assassin NPC at this kind of like junk area on the top right side of the map, and that is where they spawn. The final specialist NPCs we're going to talk about are going to be the explosive or heavy specialists. These have actually been a nerf since last season. So if you guys played in Chapter 5 Season 1, these were really annoying because they threw the cluster clingers, And these were grenades that would blow up into more grenades and then blow up again. And then also when the NPC was eliminated, they would drop cluster clingers, which again would blow up and then blow up again. So there's a lot of chain explosions going on with these last season. But now they throw regular grenades again, so they aren't that big of a deal. And they're not nearly as irritating to play against as they were last season. The explosive NPCs this season are the Poseidon NPC at Reckless Railways, who also sells a purple Warforged AR and Chug Splash. And then the Meowscles NPC is at this house on the outskirts of Fencing Fields, and he also sells a purple Gatekeeper shotgun, which is really nice because the purple Gatekeeper shotgun you purchase has a pretty good chance to drop with the drum mag attachment, which is one of the things that like kind of impacts how a lot of people feel about the Gatekeeper shotgun. Going from 3 shots to 5 doesn't sound like a huge change, but it is really nice for that weapon because the mag size is its kind of primary weakness, you know? There's some other noteworthy NPCs on the map that aren't specialists. The Jules NPC is at this gas station west of Lavish Lair, and she sells shockwaves and a purple Gatekeeper shotgun, which again, this also has a pretty decent chance to drop with the drum mag attachment. The Medusa NPC also sells shockwaves, and with these NPCs selling shockwaves this season, both Jules and Medusa, they sell them for 200 gold for 2 shockwaves. So that sounds incredibly expensive, especially compared to how it was in Chapter 4, because the NPCs that sold shocks back then, it was 36 gold for 2. So 200 sounds like a lot, right? But I think this is the easiest season ever to get gold in. I'll likely double upload videos, like upload 2 videos in one day on one of the days this weekend to kind of upload a video about how to get gold fast. But I think this is far and away the easiest season to get gold in. Yesterday, when I kind of sat down to record gameplay for that video, I got over 3,000 gold in less than 8 minutes of playing. So you can get gold very quick. For the most part this season, I'm just kind of spending it like it doesn't really matter, because if I ever do need to get gold quick, less than 10 minutes in Team Rumble and I'm going to be max or very close to max. So shockwaves from these NPCs are expensive, but it might be worth it, especially with the Medusa NPC being at Fencing. That's kind of the middle of the map, you know? So if you're ever in a game and you have no shockwaves, you're probably not too far from Fencing, and then you can make a trip there and buy more. The Brutus NPC in Pleasant Piazza sells a purple Frenzy auto shotgun, which is quite nice. Again, the attachments on this are random, just like the Gatekeeper purple versions. And then the Hope NPC at Grand Glacier sells a Reaper sniper rifle and also a Rift to go, or a portable Rift. You buy the Rift from her and she opens it. So if you really want snipers, then this can be a decent place to land. Grand Glacier isn't nearly as contested as it once was, and being able to get a guaranteed sniper and just rift out of there and go like elsewhere and not really have to deal with the fact that you landed on a POI on the edge of the map, it is pretty nice. All of the purple weapons I mentioned the NPC selling are 300 gold as far as I know. So 300 gold for the purple shotguns, the purple ARs, and the snipers, I think. But that is going to be it. Actually, one thing I want to talk about is if you do have a hired NPC, you can get them to revive you using the squad comms menu. For me, it's on the D-pad. I have to hold this button on the D-pad, and then you can kind of order the NPC around. You can tell them to kind of stay where they are. You can tell them to move to a certain area. You could use this to kind of check certain areas. Like maybe you know someone's camping in a weapon bunker. You could just send the NPC in. But you can also use these squad comms to tell the NPC to revive you if you're knocked in team game modes, which is pretty nice because it kind of frees your teammate up to not worry about that. Or your teammate can revive you with the NPC and revive you even faster. And just puts more pressure on the enemy team when you're potentially getting revived by an NPC that they weren't planning on. But that is going to be it for this video. I hope you guys found this helpful, informative, interesting. As always, if you did, remember to give it a like, subscribe if you like some more, comment down below which NPC is your favorite, whether it's the specialist or just one to buy shockwaves from, or the purple Gatekeeper. And I will see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.